I am excited because I'm gonna show you guys a real world real estate photography shoot. Everything from actually meeting the agent on site to photographing an entire house. So if you're thinking at all about getting into real estate photography, you're definitely gonna wanna stick around to see how it all works. And I'm also gonna mention some PDFs, free guides that will help you get started. So let's go.
Hey.
What's happening? Oh, this is nice.
Yeah, it's something unique. Like, it's different. Like, the guy who owns it, they have houses in Hawaii.
Uh-huh.
So they kind of built this as like their little Hawaii home away from home here. So these two waterfalls right here.
Okay.
Are you on the pictures and stills? Are you able to edit that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Out? Okay,
yeah.
Awesome. Interior too, definitely photograph. It's kind of a cool little private.
Oh, for sure. Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Definitely pushing like a little Hawaiian oasis in Mission Viejo type thing. Just
all right. All right. So the agent took off already, and one thing she did mention to me right before she left is that she did want to get a drone shot from outside that way, facing back toward the house. So I want to remember to get that before I leave. I really dig this case. I might do like a review of this case. I've had this for about a year and a half now, or maybe 2 years. Got both my cameras, drone, microphone, extra batteries, all that good stuff. I'll just kind of pay attention as I go, kind of walk around and make sure I see that any lights are on that need to be on, any small adjustments that I can make along the way. I see that she left the door open right there, so I want to leave that open because I'm sure the whole point is going to be to highlight the backyard. This one's a little tricky, so I'm going to try this shot and see if I like it. You want to make sure that all your lines are level. You don't want your camera to be pointed in a downward direction, because then you have your lines sort of like not straight, and if they're either like bowing out toward the top or bowing in, that means your verticals are not lined up straight, and that's like the number one thing that you want to remember when you're shooting. Getting in as close as you can in camera is going to be a benefit. So I'm going to grab this shot right here to get this, but then I'm also going to get another shot of this because I'm not sure which one I like better, and maybe doing something where I add something like showing the front door and another element might be something. I might prefer this shot over that other one. All right, now we're gonna hit the living room. And so one of the big things that we want to really be aware of is making sure to show how all the rooms connect to one another whenever possible. So like right here is a great shot of the living room, and then we also can see the bathroom down there. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this door all the way, so now we can see all the way in the bathroom. So you want to get those shots too where it shows a connecting shot, but then you also want to get shots of just the room itself. In terms of camera height, there is no hard and fast rule where the camera should be at a certain level for every single shot. If I look at the shot that we have right here, we have the flooring, we have the ceiling, we have the ceiling fan, and all of that. So this looks like a good height. I do like this wall that's showing over here, so I definitely want to sort of make sure to highlight that. And I think this is pretty good. I'm not super crazy about the fact that that couch is right in so much in the frame, so I don't know if there's a way that we can move that, but it's always a good idea to just sort of move your camera around, like, you know, move it left, move it right, move it back, and you know, try to see what it looks like with different framing just by moving it around just a little bit. I am going to let this be in the frame a little bit more just for the particular shot because I want to get more of that wall in the shot. And then I'm also going to bring the camera all the way back here and see if we can show the connection to this room. So this room is shot well, I think. I think we've got good coverage, although I would walk to the other side, the opposite side of the room, and see if there's something that we can get going this way. Now we're gonna hit the kitchen, and I definitely want to show everything here for one shot, so we're gonna get multiple angles of the kitchen. You can zoom in, which will give you nice compression for the room, or you could do this where you just walk the camera in. So there's going to be a difference between the way these two things look. If you walk the camera in and you keep it ultra wide, like 16 millimeters, it will have a tendency to distort the edges. The edges start to get sort of pulled out and stretched, and we want to try to avoid that, but you also don't want to punch in too much where you make the room feel super small. This shot, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to back up just a little bit. I'm going to get a 1-point perspective, and I'm going to zoom in. I think it might be a good idea to get something from here, showing just a different perspective of the kitchen. If you can figure out a way to shoot a property and the viewer gets like an entire understanding of the complete layout of the house, you have really done your job well. I don't know if I like this photo, but I'm just going to take it since I'm here. For this room, this is probably going to be the hero shot. All right, so we've got like the main rooms out of the way. All the bedrooms and stuff like that are probably going to go pretty quick. Yeah, this room is like super dark. So when we blend these shots in post, obviously we're going to be pulling from the brightest part of this image. Okay, let's see if we can get this room in one shot. Let's take a look in here. Yeah, there's nothing there that we want to see. So what I'm doing is basically I'm getting to the furthest corner of the room, and I'm pulling back as far as I can until I actually see the walls on both sides, and then I'm sort of pushing in a little bit to see where we want to be. So looking at this shot, one of the things that people often do when they're first starting out is they will bring their camera actually inside the room, and then they'll start framing up their shot, see what it looks like. But if you really want to get a good full scale shot of the room, the best thing you can do is always start with your camera in the outer corner of the shot, and even sometimes like actually outside of the room. And so now we're going to go like this and frame it up, and then maybe zoom in just a little bit. And now again, I'm sort of framing in my shot. So I've got that edge right there, I've got the towel rack right there, and I think this is a really nice shot. And it's not super distorted either. I'm not going super wide at like 16 millimeters. I'm almost at 20 millimeters. So this gives it a little bit more of like a realistic look. And looking over this trash camera here, I think that I probably don't want to have that in the shot. And then we'll get our focus point and then fire away. And I think this is the last bedroom. One of the things that I would want to do in a room like this is show that it has an ensuite. I don't know that we're going to be able to do that with this room, just because of the way it's angled. Usually I can get a shot going into the room, and then the ensuite, if I'm going on the opposite side facing back, there's like a doorway leading into the ensuite. This one, it's a little bit different because it wraps around. I am going to go ahead and get this shot. So now we're going to head outside and get shots of the front yard and the backyard. And for that, I'm actually going to take my camera off the tripod, because it's not necessary to get shots like with your tripod, because the shutter speed is going to be so fast because it's so bright outside. So we can just do everything handheld. And so again, we want to show like big overview shots and then maybe some smaller vignettes possibly, but we'll see what this looks like. Sometimes I'll angle down just a little bit so I can get a better view of, like right here, I can see this sauna, the spa, but like if I go up here, I can see it a little bit better. One of the things that the realtor said was that like she wants to make it feel like this is sort of like a island, you know, kind of getaway, and it definitely has that vibe to it. So I want to see if I can get that. So I'm kind of framing this up where I can see a little bit of the house, a little bit of those chairs, I can see a little bit of that waterfall. Yeah, I'm gonna get this by itself. It's nice to have a flip out screen for this stuff so you can like get down low. Yeah, if I try to go across this thing, I might actually fall in it. Nah, I'm not gonna do it. Let's see, maybe I can get one going straight here. Let me know in the comments, should I have tried to get over there? Would that have been a worthy shot to get? Or would it have just been fun to see me potentially fall in the water? Then she mentioned that she wants to make this kind of feel like it's a sort of like an island getaway. So she mentioned getting this. Obviously this would be a huge selling feature right here. This is a tough front of house shot. So I like to back up, like I like to go almost like 3/4 of the way across the street and then zoom into the house. Kind of gives some nice compression. I don't want to show too much street, so sometimes I actually will angle the shot up just a little bit and then adjust it in post. I don't want to go too crazy because then adjusting it in post does not look good, but a little bit is not bad. And yeah, the front of house shot here is challenging because there's so much greenery covering. I also already took my drone shots too. If you want to get like a little bit more artistic and creative, you could do something where you drop your aperture down to like f3.5, and if you zoom in, what that'll do is that will make certain parts of your image out of focus. So I'm gonna see if I can get a shot where I show the front door and have some of this foreground out of focus. All right, so that's it for photos, and we'll take a look at what the all the finals of them look like and how I put those together inside of Adobe Bridge and get them ready for delivery.
I'm back at the computer and I have all the edited images open in Adobe Bridge, but I did want to mention that if you are still a little confused about what shots you need to take in order to make sure that you're completely covered, I have a PDF guide that gives you a complete shot list that is free for download, and it's actually in the description. All right, so I'm on my last step here in Adobe Bridge, and what I like to do is, this is sort of the final step in preparing the photos to get ready for delivery. And what I do here is I basically just sort my images, and I'll go ahead and put them all in walkthrough order so that there's some sort of coherency to how these are laid out. And I like to do that for clients because you kind of want to have them in walkthrough order. It makes things easier on the client when they are going through the photos, because you don't want to have like a front of house photo followed up by a kitchen, then a bedroom, then back to the kitchen, because it makes it a little more difficult for the client to find what they need. When you put everything in walkthrough order, it just makes things a lot easier on them, and it gives them, you know, a sense of where everything is. They may change things when they decide to go live with the listing based on what features they want to show of any particular property. But it's always a good idea to do this just to make their lives a little easier. And that's really the goal of everything in this job, is to do everything that you can, the small little touches, to make sure that the client has a great experience, because that's truly what ends up making a great long-lasting relationship with your client, is making sure that you're doing all the small touches, listening to the requests, handling things in a timely manner, and doing small things like ordering the photos. Believe it or not, knowing how to shoot real estate photography is just a small part of the game. If you want to know more about the next step in building your real estate photography business, then you're definitely going to want to watch this video right here.